Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. This week, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, continues to keep going wrong, but there's still hope, and I'm still very positive regardless of everything that has happened. So, welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Here we go. So, this week, let's see, the beginning of the week, it started out with me going to the dermatologist for a skin condition I've had, trying to figure out, get to the bottom of what's going on. I think it's related to my diet, but long story short, I had to get a biopsy done and I hate medical stuff. I hate needles and blood and all that good shit. But at the same time, I had to get this done and I had to stomach myself through it. They did a little biopsy, put a little stitch when they took out the piece right above my neck, which means what? They don't want the stitch to pop. So 7 days of rest is what I was asked to do. Said you could do legs, but again, I can't go heavy. You can't really do squats. I could still do some workouts, but I'm still actually healing from my back injury. It seemed to have popped back up again. The universe is really trying to tell me to slow the fuck down into this New Year's resolution era of the gym, which actually is a good thing because the gym has been a mess. There's probably a lot of diseases, a lot of viruses going around in the gym because everybody's in the gym right now, just going nuts, packed. So I'm kind of staying away from that, which is nice. But at the same time, it's been very derailing to my activity around exercise, which I like to go to the gym for. It's also been raining like mad, so much so that we lost power because of the rain. Why? Because of the property that I'm staying at, we have very large trees around. And because we've been having unprecedented amounts of rain in California and pretty much all throughout the country, right? There's been some kind of storms. A tree fell, destroyed the power thing, and we've been out of power for like 13, 14 hours. But what makes all of that worse is our baby got sick. He had super high fever. We had no idea what's going on. He's also teething, right? If any of your parents know what that's about. I mean, there's a whole lot of pain involved in that, of course. And so we're dealing with our sick kid. We have no idea how to really deal with it because we're new parents. We're doing our best. And then guess what? 10 p.m. at night, power goes out. And this is the time when we actually really need our heat because it's been colder than usual because of all these storms. We live near the water, which makes it even colder. You know, the weather change is more drastic coastal. So now we're living through this crazy night where there is no power. We're afraid the baby's, gonna get cold. We're trying to wrap him up in more blankets. I'm sleeping in sweatshirt, sweatpants, actually two jackets and a blanket, and I'm sitting in the living room, sleeping in the living room. Why? Because another setback this week, my freaking bed. So we have a Murphy bed that we put in this room, and it goes up and down, right? Because it creates more space. I got a small place. So the day before the power outage or 2 days before the power outage, I come in here and I'm pulling the bed down like I do normally before going to bed at night. And as soon as I pull the bed down, the freaking bed breaks. So now we don't have our bedroom. So guess where we're sleeping? In the freaking living room. So this thing just turned into a studio apartment. No problem. And then the power goes out. The living room is one of the coldest rooms in the house. So we're sleeping in there. No power. It's cold. The poor baby's sick. Oh my God. Like, it's just a lot of little things. And of course, I can't work out, so I'm not getting my daily exercise in. Not to mention, my water also washer leaked out of my clothing washer had also leaked this week, which sucked because we're spinning some clothes and now we notice there's water all over the floor. And not to mention, there's hardwood floor, and we're noticing that there's probably water damage done to that. I hope it's not terrible. Still need to look into all of that. But I haven't had any time because of all the other things that I just told you have been taking up so much of our headspace, making us exhausted, drained, tired, not at all being able to sit down and record this video for you guys that I wanted to do like 4 days ago, not being able to get into the creative zone because I'm just basically surviving, just trying to get myself through the freaking day and pray to God that things don't continue to get worse. And now we're here. So that, in a short nutshell, has been all the setbacks that have happened this week in my life. So, when events like this happen, it's kind of obviously destroys whatever expectations you had about what you were going to do, how your day was going to be like. And I'm someone that's pretty ambitious, so I like to have like my things that I assign myself every day to do to get done. And when those aren't happening, I get more and more anxious. And it really sucked because our baby got sick. And you know what? I ended up losing my temper at one point because I'm not proud of it, but it's what happened, right? I was not able to manage myself well. All the things that I like to do are even to manage my own stress were kind of not happening for me, and my stress level kept going up. And of course, my body's already in discomfort through all the skin issues that I've been having, which turn into really these painful rashes that I have to figure out a way of managing. And it's been happening for months now, and I've been doing all kinds of things to figure it out. One of the big changes that I'm looking forward to make this year is actually go even harder on my 5 pillars. So as you guys know, I talk all day, every day about the 5 pillars and what they really mean to me. If you don't know what that is and you're hearing it for the first time, the 5 pillars of well-being is meditation, exercise, proper nutrition, proper hydration, and sleep. So I've been doing these 5 pillars, trying to focus on them every day. However, I've clearly not been doing a great job because my body is still pushing back. The skin issue that I've had is pretty much related because my body has some sort of imbalance in it, right? So I've told you guys so much about how much meditation has helped me in the past to get through my mental health issues, where I've had incredible amount of anxiety and depression in the past. I don't meditate quite like that because those aren't really the symptoms of my current day-to-day life. So I know I need to do some kind of meditation work, and I do, but it's not the same as how it used to be. And what I've been looking into more and more, instead of, how I would be doing a lot of yoga, and maybe it's all linked to me not doing as much of the yoga and meditation practices, but I will drop that for a moment and tell you guys about what I'm going to be doing moving forward this year to try to improve my health. And one of the things I'm looking into is Ayurvedic medicine, or Ayurvedic just study of the body. So essentially, I don't have all the information because this is something new to me. I'm still learning about it. And it's a way of balancing out the different energies in your body. And everyone has slightly different types of bodies and different types of forces that function within their bodies. So again, I don't want to butcher what this is about, but I will tell you in a nutshell what's important to understand, and what's coming for me is there's going to be a lot of changes to my diet and to my routine. So a few of the things that I'm going to be trying to do by following this protocol, I met with an Ayurvedic doctor this week, and he looked at my doshas. Doshas are like the different energy types, right? So there's 3 different ones, but for me, Pita is I think more heat driven. People like me who are very ambitious and very out there and like want to do a lot tend to have a lot more heat in their system, or fire, you could say. I'm a fire breathing dragon in one sense. So he seems to believe that the outbreaks that I'm getting all over my body are due to excessive heat being generated in my system, largely due to my diet and some other imbalances. So the things that we're trying to do is we want to balance my digestive tract and my tissue metabolism. We want to find a way to purify my blood, which will, of course, purify my skin and the condition, cleanse out my liver, and look at how we can improve the pathways of detoxing my body better, support my mental health, my nervous system health. And we also want to do this pretty much in a way where, this thing doesn't keep coming back, because I've gone through the traditional doctors. I've done the topical creams, they even gave me like steroidal creams and ointments that do help a little bit, but at the same time, they don't fix the problem. It's just a band-aid, right? I want to actually fix to the core of this problem. So a couple of things that are going to be coming down the road here, I've already started doing some of them, is I'm going to be doing intermittent fasting. So I'm going to eat my last meal between 7 and 7:30 p.m. and then I'm not going to eat until the next day around 12. And another suggestion based on my body type is to do a workout between 6 and 10 a.m. or in the evening, at 6 and 10, which is going to be a bit of a change because my workouts are kind of put into the middle of the day where it works the best for me based on how many meetings I have that day and what kind of schedule I have. But that's going to be an interesting challenge to kind of go towards. I'm also asked to do very little things that, I will share more about once I'm kind of in the flow of them and I have some ways to talk about it, but I'll share just at a high level certain herbs that they're concocting for me just to make sure that my body is purified and getting some of these things, toxins, out of my system. I'm a huge believer in that because being Indian and all, herbs and spices are a huge part of our culture, and many herbs are actually very medicinal, as many of you probably know. So that is a compound or concoction that I'm actually waiting to receive in the mail. So once I start that, I can talk about it some more. But in terms of nutrition, right, I'm going to have to avoid a lot of things that are generating some kind of heat, excessive heat in my system. I'm just looking at some of the pages that they sent me. But like, for example, there's a large list of foods that I'm not supposed to eat with each other, right? Because they are not symbiotic. They're actually doing the opposite. One of them, just off the top of my head, overnight oats, oatmeal with banana is not a good combination for me. So I have to remove that. I'm going to be removing a bunch of dairy, no cheese. It's kind of funny. It sounds like you're going on like contest prep, diet where you're cutting out everything, but it's a little bit more balanced than that. But simple things that I used to like into eating, like tomatoes, potatoes, even spinach, need to be taken out because they're considered nightshades. Basically avoiding things like this for the next 6 weeks: cheese, yogurt, excessive wheat, no white sugar, dairy products, even chocolate. Yeah, and all of this is supposed to help the aggravation of the vata energy within me, which is causing this inflammation as far as we can tell. And I have to also avoid some of my favorite things, like very sharp, spicy foods, sour foods, pungent foods, oily, salty, sour fruits, vinegar, sour cream, fermented fruits, spicy foods, any green or red chili, yogurt, and even pickles. I mean, some of that I'm not eating, but at the same time, this is going to definitely change the flavor palette. And for my blood building and blood purifying, things that I'm going to be incorporating are like cooked carrots, red beets, Brussels sprouts. It says broccoli, but I fucking hate broccoli. I'm not going to do that. And then possibly some snacks between meals. So I'm supposed to have 2 hours of gap between meals. And if I do need a snack, something like pomegranate seeds, papaya, soaked dark raisins, 1 banana with a pinch of cardamom and cinnamon, and raw unprocessed honey. And then there's this huge list of like incompatible foods. I'm not going to go into it today, but as you can see, things are going to be changing a whole lot. And then also, I'm supposed to have certain things to counter my bad ingesting foods, you could say, like coffee. So there's a concoction where I'm putting MCT oil, ghee, and some spices into my coffee, which I haven't done it yet, so I'll get back to you on how that tastes. But this is one of the biggest changes coming down the road. And how do I feel about this? I mean, I could sit here and tell you that I feel like super excited to do it. I am, but I'm also not. I'm also very, hesitant as to how long I can sustain this. Is it going to even work? Food is a huge comfort thing, but I'm actually digging deeper and bringing myself back to the mindset of how I used to be when I did bodybuilding, because I have to understand that at this point, my health really needs to be put back in order. My body is screaming and telling me so. Even though I talk about the 5 pillars, there's levels to this shit, right? You could do the very basic of the 5 pillars, and I've been doing that, but it's time to level it up. It's time to go to the next level of it, and that's what this is. It's getting extremely laser focused on where I'm trying to go, what kind of health I'm trying to manifest for myself, and what that's going to require. It's going to require extreme amount of discipline. It's going to require a lot of grit. Funny enough that this is popping up more and more in my life. Remember, my focus statements for the year is grit and taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself requires so many different aspects. The 5 pillars is just one way of looking at that in a very generic way, but it goes really deep. There's a lot of different things that I'm going to have to do here. And I could just safely say that I am very excited about it, but I'm also quite nervous. It's changing your comforts. It's becoming more competent on how my body needs to be, rather than seeking towards comfortable things that I've been doing, which have gotten me in the position that I'm at. So that is my real talk update. I have not been doing as well as I want to be doing, but I got a long way to go. And my way of sharing with you guys in this series is just to keep you in the loop of where things are, where we're going, to stay aligned with my focus statements for the year, which is work hard and take care of yourself. I just want to leave you with that we've put out a lot of videos. We're continuing to do that, and we're going to keep continuing to do that. And if you aren't subscribed, I would really encourage you to subscribe to this video. Share it with someone that you think might find it useful. Let me know what you want to know. I'm doing a lot of little things here, and my Real Talk updates could be better, and I hope to make them better. I hope to just keep the commitment to providing you guys where I'm at, what I'm doing, how it's making my life better, in hopes that it maybe would help make your life somewhat better. So thank you for checking this one out. I'll see you guys in the next one. And hopefully by then I'll have a lot more progress made and a lot less setbacks. But who knows? Things can always get worse. So I'm really, really grateful to be here and still kicking and screaming and moving forward full speed. Peace.